Do foods lower cholesterol better than a statin? Most doctors will say no. Or, I don't know. By the end of this video, I will show you 5 foods, every one backed by human clinical trials, that dropped my own LDL cholesterol from 168 down to 84. 50% reduction in just 5 weeks, down to 61 in just 12 weeks. That's a 64% reduction. That is what the strongest statin drugs on the market does at its highest dose. And I will show you what happened to my 71-year-old diabetic friend when he stacked these same 5 foods on top of his statin. Spoiler alert, it's better than a $15,000 drug, a PCSK9 drug. So I'm Dr. Kevin Ham. Last February 2025, my good friend Rob died suddenly of a heart attack at age 58. He had textbook normal cholesterol while on a statin. He's a big mountain climber, climbed the Matterhorn 3 times, super fit, and needless to say, it was shocking. He died the morning he was supposed to fly up from San Francisco to have lunch with me. Then I found out I had majorly clogged arteries a few months later. 77% clots, 55%, 45% everywhere, in all my heart vessels. I could have been next. But I quickly lowered my LDL and figured out how to reverse my arterial plaque, starting from my carotids, and now so in my coronaries. Let me show you what I did and what my results were. This is reversal, and most doctors don't even know this is possible. I proved it in my own scans, and if you follow along with me in your reversal journey, you will educate yourself and empower yourself to become healthier and start to reverse your own disease. Before we lower cholesterol, we have to understand it. Cholesterol isn't poison. Cholesterol is necessary for life. Every single cell membrane in your body is built with it. Your brain, the smartest 3 pounds in the universe, is 25% cholesterol by weight. Your hormones, testosterone, estrogen, cortisol, vitamin D, all made out of the base cholesterol. Your bile acids, the detergent your gut uses to absorb fat, needs cholesterol. Your liver manufactures about 1,000 milligrams of cholesterol every single day. Your gut makes it. Your adrenal glands, which makes the sex hormones, make it. Your brain makes its own supply of cholesterol. You can make all the cholesterol you require. You actually don't need any dietary cholesterol. Then is the cholesterol in your food the problem? The famous high cholesterol foods like eggs, shrimps, butter, liver, cheese, or the low cholesterol foods, actually 0 cholesterol. Every plant on earth, broccoli, apples, oats, lentils. So here's what most doctors still get wrong. Dietary cholesterol has a weak effect on your blood cholesterol for most people. When you eat more, your liver makes less. It's a feedback loop. The real driver of high LDL in your blood is saturated fat. Saturated fat shuts down the LDL receptors on your liver. These LDL receptors are like vacuum cleaners that pull LDL out of your blood. High saturated foods like butter, cheese, red meat, and coconut oil, they block these LDL receptors, and that's how LDL climbs. People with an LDL of 200 can have clean arteries, no plaque, at 70 years old. People with an LDL of 70, a low amount, can die suddenly of a heart attack at age 58. Rob was one of them. I could have been one if I hadn't found out my calcium CT score last May, score of 505, even though my LDL was high at 168. So why do people still have heart attacks despite normal LDL cholesterol? Because LDL alone is not the enemy. It's oxidized LDL that's the enemy, and it's a smaller size LDL. What oxidizes LDL? Inflammation, oxidation, glycation, smoking, free radicals, heavy metals. Your standard lipid panel, the one your doctor has ordered for 40 years, measures total cholesterol, LDL, HDL, and triglycerides. The tests that actually predict heart attack are ApoB, lipoprotein small a, LDL particle number, oxidized LDL, and hsCRP is a general marker of inflammation. It needs to be less than 1.0. Mine is 0.2. High LDL with large fluffy particles and low inflammation. You are fine. Low LDL with small dense oxidized particles and high inflammation. you're in danger. Almost nobody gets these measured. Most doctors don't even understand what these are. Statins went on the market September 1987. But what does a statin actually do? A statin blocks an enzyme in your liver called HMG-CoAs reductase. That is the assembly line that builds cholesterol. Sounds perfect, except that same pathway also builds something called coenzyme Q10. And CoQ10 is a spark plug of your mitochondria, the energy factories in every single cell. Block the pathway and you drop CoQ10 by 30 to 40%. That's why millions on statin get muscle pain, brain fog, and fatigue. And here's the bigger problem. Statins only block the cholesterol your liver makes. They do nothing about the cholesterol you absorb from your food. They do nothing about oxidation. They do nothing about LDL particle size. A statin is a saw that cuts only one leg off a four-legged table. Food cuts off all four. Before I give you the 5 foods, you need the foundation to sit on. This is a 10% fat, whole food, plant-based diet. No oils. You have to cut out even avocado, coconuts, and nuts, which have saturated fats. You also have to cut out sugars and refined foods like white bread and white rice, any added sugars, out with the butter, cheese, red meat, fried food, coconut oil, palm oil, pastries. Those shut down your liver LDL receptors because of the saturated fat. And you need to replace them with whole plants, vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, beans, seeds. This one move on its own drops LDL by 20 to 30% in 4 to 12 weeks. This is what Dean Ornish showed in the Lancet in 1990, and Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn confirmed in 109 patients at the Cleveland Clinic. Now we build on top of that. Their average LDL was around 70 to 80 milligrams per deciliter. So every number comes from a randomized human trial. Number 1. Chia seeds, 2 tablespoons. This gives you ALA omega-3. It gives you viscous fiber, plant protein, and it drops LDL around 4%. It may not seem like much, but it has other mechanism and helps reverse cholesterol transport. But the synergy with the next foods is important. The entry door. Number 2 is oats, steel-cut oats. 3 grams of beta-glucan a day. This is what is in oat. 1 bowl of steel-cut oats can drop LDL by 7% in 4 weeks. Beta-glucan binds bile acids in your gut, and your liver is forced to pull out cholesterol out of your blood to make more bile. And then LDL drops 10 to 15 points typically. Call it 10% on LDL. Number 3 is milled flaxseed, 2 tablespoons a day. You have to grind it, not whole, because whole flax just passes right through you and you don't digest it. So the FlaxPAD trial brought LDL down, ApoB down, blood pressure down. Just 1 to 4 grams a day of this blue-green algae. This is what sea creatures eat. A meta-analysis looked at 7 randomized trials, and spirulina dropped LDL cholesterol by, get this, 41 milligrams per deciliter on average. This is 20%. Shocking and surprising great reduction. And here's the one you might be waiting for. Number 5, red grapefruit. 1 red grapefruit a day for just 30 days by Gorinstein in the Journal of Agriculture and Food Chemistry in 2006. He had 57 patients after coronary bypass surgery. 3 groups. 1 red grapefruit a day, 1 white grapefruit a day, or none. After 30 days, the red grapefruit group dropped LDL by 20.3%. Triglycerides fell 17%. White grapefruit, 10.7%. Control, nothing. So 1 fruit, the red grapefruit, 30 days. Amazing results. As good as a spirulina, but grapefruit interacts with your statin. It increases its concentration. So anybody with a statin, you should avoid it, except certain statins like rosuvastatin. So talk to your physician. If you can't take that, then swap in bergamot. Mollace studied 237 patients, 1,000 milligrams of bergamot polyphenic fraction a day. 30 days, LDL dropped between 24 to 36%. Same pathway, no interaction. Take someone with an LDL of 168. That was me. Foundation, 10% whole food plant-based diet, minus 25 up to 50%. Add chia, minus 4%. Add oats, minus 7%. Add milled flax, minus 10%. Add spirulina, minus 20%. Add red grapefruit, minus another 20%. So theoretical final LDL, when you multiply all these reductions together, 65 milligrams per deciliter, a 61% reduction. That's a zone of 40 milligrams of rosuvastatin, the strongest statin on the market. And this is just with food. My own result? My LDL was 168 milligrams per deciliter. I had multi-vessel coronary plaque on CT angiogram, 77% in one artery, 55% in another. And here's the part that should keep every cardiologist up at night. My cholesterol was my only risk factor. I had normal triglycerides, actually very low because I was exercising a lot, high HDL, low blood pressure, 105/65. My BMI is 21. I rode 7,000 kilometers a year on my bicycle, no family history, no diabetes, no smoking. Just the cholesterol. 12 weeks after I started the protocol, I went back to the lab. My LDL dropped to 61. From 168 to 61. A 64% reduction in just 12 weeks simply on food. The theoretical math said 65. My actual number was 61. My ApoB was even lower. It's 45. The math checks out. Now, some of you who are watching this may already be on a statin drug. Good news, you don't have to stop. You can stack the foundation and the 5 foods on top of your statin. One warning about the grapefruit, as I mentioned, grapefruit interacts with simvastatin, lovastatin, and atorvastatin, but it doesn't seem to interact with rosuvastatin, cravastatin, fluvastatin, and pitavastatin. This is why it's the #1 drug on the market. Always check with your physician before adding grapefruit to your protocol. And if you're on any one of these statins that interacts, drop the grapefruit and swap it for bergamot instead. So let me tell you what happened with my friend. My 71-year-old type 2 diabetic friend was already on rosuvastatin. His starting LDL on the statin was 107 milligrams per deciliter. Not bad, not great. To arrest disease, you want to be around 80. He started the foundation 10% whole food plant-based diet. He skipped a meal. He was on 2 meals a day, slightly lower calories. And he had chia, oats, flax, spirulina, and yes, red grapefruit, because rosuvastatin does not interact with it as much. 3 weeks later, he got the labs, his LDL. Guess what it was? I was shocked. It was just 34. 34 in just 3 weeks. 5 foods on top of the statin. That's a 71% drop on top of his statin. 34 is PCSK9 inhibitor territory. A PCSK9 is a biologic injection that costs anywhere from $6,000 to $15,000 a year. He got there on a grocery list. So I was shocked. If you're not on a statin, the foundation and the 5 foods can drop your LDL the way mine dropped from 168 to 61. If you're on a statin, the foundation and the 5 foods can drop your LDL into PCSK9 territory from 107 to 34. He also started walking a lot after his meals, probably walking for an hour a day. That helped, obviously, because before he always took the car everywhere. 10% whole food plant-based diet, steel-cut oats with chia seeds, flax seeds, grounded for digestion, spirulina, red grapefruit, and if you're on a statin that's not compatible with the red grapefruit, use bergamot. This doesn't cut your CoQ10, so no muscle pain. There's no injection from the PCSK9. So food is not weak medicine. Food is medicine and can be your foundation. And you could start tomorrow morning, just like I did when I found out I had a calcium CT score of 505. I'm building this channel one truth at a time. Subscribe so the next video and the next insight that can help you reverse your disease and other metabolic problems.
These videos save lives. Tag me, like, subscribe, and ask your questions below. Click one of these videos and share it with someone you love. Together, we will save lives. For my up-to-date learnings and more, visit me at ham.com.